I always thought the Sportster line was Harley's safe bet. Reliable, but kind of stuck in the past. But when I dug into the 2026 Sportster S, what hit me first was how Harley flipped that script without losing the soul. It's got this raw scrambler vibe that screams performance, yet it doesn't scream, "look at me," like some over-the-top customs do. I compared it side by side with the older air-cooled Sportsters I used to ride. Those felt punchy in the low end, but they'd fade out quick on highways. The 2026's Revolution Max 1250T engine, liquid-cooled, 121 horsepower, it's like Harley strapped a rocket to the frame. I noticed the torque peaks at 93 foot-pounds, and it pulls hard from idle, no waiting around. Most riders assume more power means less control, especially on a bike with that fat front tire. But that's a misconception I've seen trip people up. They think it'll handle like a bulldozer, but the 160 section front actually grips corners better than you'd expect, thanks to the adjustable suspension. Here's a takeaway. If you're upgrading from an older model, tweak the preload on that rear monoshock first. I did that, mentally mapping out a test ride, and it transforms the bike from stiff to supple without sacrificing that aggressive stance. Diving deeper, I wondered if Harley overdid the tech on this one. The 4-inch TFT display is crisp, showing everything from tach to tire pressure. I compared it to my buddy's Indian Scout. Similar power, but the Harley's Bluetooth integration feels more seamless for music and calls. What surprised me was the cornering-enhanced ABS and traction control. I doubted it'd make a real difference at first, but imagine leaning into a wet curve. It uses an IMU to adjust braking. That's not just gimmicky, it's saved my hide on slick roads before. A common mistake? Folks overlook the ride modes: rain, road, sport. They stick to default and complain about throttle response. Switch to sport and it wakes up, but ease into it if you're new to high torque bikes. Practical insight? Pair your phone via the HD app before heading out. I learned that the hard way on a similar setup. It turns navigation into a hands-free dream, saving you from fumbling at stops. Looking at the design, I analyzed the blacked-out powertrain against the highlighted cooling fins. It's subtle, but it gives this vintage nod without going full retro. Compared to the 2025 model, the 2026 refines those fins for a sharper look. Harley didn't reinvent, they polished. I was curious about the high-mount 212 exhaust. Does it really change the ride? Yeah, it tucks in for better lean angles, and the sound? Deep, commanding, not that tinny aftermarket buzz some chase. Misconception alert. People think liquid cooling kills the Harley heat vibe. Wrong, it manages it better. I rode something similar in summer traffic, no more thigh roasting at lights. Takeaway here, if heat's your worry, this setup keeps things cooler, letting you focus on the road. Opt for the Aurora Blue denim color if you want it to pop without screaming custom. On performance, I broke down the numbers. 502 pounds wet, 3.1 gallon tank. It's no lightweight, but the 49 mpg estimate surprised me. I compared it to my old Iron 883, which guzzled more for half the power. Doubt crept in. Is 121 horsepower too much for daily riding? Not really. The drag torque slip control smooths out downshifts, preventing lockups that catch newbies off guard. Most miss how the wheel lift mitigation works. They hammer the throttle and wonder why it doesn't wheelie wildly. It's there to keep you planted, not kill fun. Insight? Practice in an empty lot. I always do. Build confidence in the electronics, and you'll push harder safely on twisties. Shifting to ergonomics, I noticed the 28.9-inch seat height fits my 5'10" frame perfectly, but shorter riders might tiptoe. Compared to the Nightster, it's more forward-leaning, aggressive without being a stretch. What caught me off guard was the ground clearance, 3.5 inches. I thought it'd scrape on bumps, but the suspension soaks it up, even loaded. A big mistake, assuming it's just a city cruiser. Nah, with that torque band, it eats highways. Folks underrated for longer trips, sticking to baggers instead. Practical tip? Add a small windscreen if you're touring. I visualized a 200-mile day. It cuts fatigue without ruining the scrambler aesthetic. Price-wise, starting at $15,999, I weighed it against competitors like the Ducati Scrambler. Harley's got more torque, but Ducati's lighter. I leaned towards the Sportster for that unmistakable V-twin pulse. Curiosity led me to the colors. Blood orange stands out, but vivid black hides scratches better. I compared paint quality. Harley's premium finishes hold up in real-world abuse. Overlooked issue? Riders forget the TPMS. It alerts early, but ignore it and you're risking flats mid-ride, a lesson from my past blowouts. Takeaway? Check pressures weekly. Simple, but it extends tire life on those Dunlops, saving cash long-term. Tech integration got me thinking. The USB-C port charges fast, but I doubted the display's visibility in sun. Turns out it's anti-glare, clearer than older analogs. Surprise element? Multi-language support. Not huge, but for international trips, it's a thoughtful touch I didn't expect from Harley. Common misconception? It's not beginner-friendly. With adjustable aids, it is, if you start in rain mode and build up. Insight? If you're stepping up, ride with a group first. I always recommend it. Learn from others' lines on this beast. Handling dynamics. I analyzed the 30-degree rake. It's stable at speed, but quick in traffic. Compared to the Fat Bob, it's nimbler, less tank slapper prone. I wondered about wet weather. The radial tires and CABS shine here, no skids like on bias plies I've battled. Mistake many make? Over-braking in panic. The 4-piston front caliper bites hard, modulated or you'll lock despite ABS. Practical? Drill emergency stops in practice. I do it yearly. Builds muscle memory for real scares. On customization, the satin black wheels beg for accents. I compared stock to aftermarket. Keep it minimal to retain warranty till 2028 or so. What surprised me, the tank medallion's vintage feel ties back to old Sportsters, but modern execution. Folks assume it's loud stock. It's not obnoxious, just throaty enough for presence without tickets. Takeaway? If neighbors complain, the catalyst muffles it well. No need for straight pipes unless you're chasing decibels. Fuel system. Electronic injection is flawless. I recalled carbureted bikes choking in cold. This starts instantly. Doubt? Is the 3.1-gallon tank limiting? Nah, with 49 mpg, it's a 150-mile range. Fine for most jaunts. Misconception? Heavy bikes can't flick. This one does, thanks to the aluminum clamps. Insight? Lean with your body, not just bars. I shifted my style years ago, transforms heavyweights like this. Wrapping up the powertrain, the blacked out look hides grime better. Compared to chrome, it's low-maintenance win. Curiosity about vibes, minimal at cruise, unlike air-cooled shakes. Most miss the oil capacity. 4.75 quarts means longer intervals if you track it. Takeaway? Log your miles digitally. I use an app. Prevents surprises on service. In the end, after all this digging, I see the 2026 Sportster S as Harley's quiet rebellion. Powerful enough to thrill, refined enough to daily, without pretending to be something it's not.